Hello, hello! Welcome to another doll video. This time, I will be doing something slightly different. I will be giving these doll girlies some swimsuits to match the summer vibes. Let's get straight into the concept art. I started with Lily, my spring doll. Since she is frog themed, I searched up some inspiration and it was underwhelming. I kept getting pictures of frog statues with striped swimsuits, which is why I gave Lily the same swimsuit, but it wasn't looking right to me. So I tried again. This time, I thought about her name, Lily. Why not make a lily pad swimsuit? She already has a lily pad beret. It was perfect. I ended up drawing her in a two-piece. The top will be rather plain with a pink flower, and her bottoms will resemble the lily pad itself with the middle slit. And I added some side straps for funsies. Moving on to Candace, my Valentine's Day doll. Her whole vibe was supposed to give off coquette, so I dabbled with the idea a bit. Her design had the most drawings for sure. There were many swimsuits that would look good on her. In total, I came up with these 4 designs. The pink theme was pretty prevalent. I drew a one-piece with ruffles, a top and skirt combo, a black two-piece with a pink accent, and finally a simple pink swimsuit with flowers adorning the edges. I also wanted to give her an oversized t-shirt to act as a cover-up because I thought it'd be cute. So I added that with some summer and heart/spring doodles to it. In the end, I decided to go for a simple pink swimsuit to go under the cover-up. Blueberry is next, my dessert doll. For her design, I pretty much wanted her to have some sort of plaid or striped swimsuit and a skirt. I pretty much nailed it the first time around, but then I felt bad that she was the only one with one design, so I did a lazy attempt for a second design. I will still be creating the plaid or striped design though. Lastly, we have my first doll custom on this channel, Gwendolyn the Green Witch. She's had a bit of a makeover since then, but that will be a different video. For her swimsuit, I knew I just wanted something a bit mature and black. I got a bit ambitious and drew this black bikini with the star above her top. Dolls are way too small for me to pull this off, but it was a nice thought. I did my best. Enough yapping, let's get going. I started with Lily's top. I cut out the general shape of her chest area and sewed on some sides. Unfortunately, I had to hand sew it. These clothes are even tinier than regular doll clothes. Once the top was done, I added some Velcro on the back and started with her bottoms. So hear me out. I had no idea how to make swim bottoms. Did I look it up? No. Pure trial and error. So I cut out the pieces that I thought would look decent and sewed them all together. These bottoms are also a bit weird because they have no sides since they would be held together by straps. This was actually my first attempt. I couldn't get her bottoms off after trying them on her, so I literally had to break the bottoms and then redo the whole thing. Although this time, I wouldn't rely too much on the straps and then just put a clasp on the back of it. For her details, I painted on the lily pad design on her bottoms, as well as embroidered some stripes on her top. I also added the straps to the top, which is just some embroidery thread. The last thing to do was add the flower from her concept design. I used the same technique as I did when I made her lily pad water lily. I got some felt and cut out the shape of the flower. I also painted and threaded around key parts of the flower to make it look more interesting. I sew it onto her top and it's all done. For Candace's top, I cut out these pieces out of a pink swirly fabric. And it was at this point that I realized I didn't have any white string or ribbon to act as her straps. So I had to improvise. Luckily, I had this giant ball of random ribbons, so I chose a coiled pink and yellow string to attach to her top pieces. I hand sewed them on to the best of my ability, and they turned out pretty decent. For her bottoms, I made this one long piece of something. I don't even know what I would call it, but it works for her bottoms. I also added some Velcro on the sides. Since I'm not using a stretchy fabric, I had to get creative with how the dolls will put these swimsuits on. Lastly is the oversized t-shirt. It's pretty much just a bodice that I blew up. I cut out the pieces needed and sewed them together as usual. I also painted on the designs of her shirt, like the flower, sun, and heart. And then I gave the shirt a pink border on the sleeve ends and neckline. And it's all done. Now it's on to Blueberry. For her top, I cut out 2 identical pieces of this striped blue fabric and some straps and sewed them together. Again, I went into the giant ball of ribbon and string to see if I can find some straps, and found this ribbon that was the perfect color. For her skirt, apparently past me didn't record it, but I went with a semicircle base attached to a strip of white fabric. I also used the same blue ribbon to add to the bottom of her skirt. And that's all for her. Finally, we have Gwenny. At this point, I was pretty familiar with the process of how to make swimsuits, so I grabbed the stretchy fabric to make this. I sewed it at the sides, and since it's stretchy, I don't have to worry about how the doll will fit into it. Her top was the exact same as Candace's, just on a smaller scale. However, instead of ribbon, I attached it to embroidery thread because for some reason I also didn't have black ribbon. I did end up switching it out for the actual ribbon, but you will see that in the final pictures. With that, she's all done. Here's all the swimsuits together. I didn't even realize it at the time, but I literally made the Powerpuff Girls with the blue, pink, and green swimsuits. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Bye!